Okay. Let's see. Let's answer more questions. Hello. Let's see. Put on jacket jeans. What the fuck is a jacket jean? What? You mean a jean jacket? I mean, like, listen, life is too short. If you want to call it jacket jeans, I fucking support you. There's worse things you could be doing in this world right now, and if that makes you happy, jacket jeans. Okay, I thought that was funny. Hello, I joined your live stream, and you look very kind and pretty. Oh, yes. Probably just ruined it. Oh my god, someone just put the lyrics of You're a Zombie like 8 times. I love it. Hello. Your song, you're so strong. Thank you. Oh my god, I did not... Okay, my fear with talking about that situation was that other people were going to think that, like, oh my god, she's so unstable. But honestly, like, when I was addressing everything, it really came from a place of, like, nah, I'm doing great. Like, I just finally let go of something that, you know, I think we all feel like we owe our blood something when... I don't know, it's a really complicated situation, but long story short, if you don't follow me on Twitter, it was really hard for me to, like, move out so last minute and not talk about why, and I do love them, but honestly, like, they have been not good to me at all, and I kind of, like, went home and I tried to fix everything, and I have to realize that, like, they owe me. I am their child. I don't owe them, especially when, you know, there's a lot that they never gave me as a child. I don't know. It was kind of a year of just, I ended up, like, being their parent and, like, their therapist, and I realized, you know, it was exhausting, and it wasn't going anywhere. And it was not fair to me, you know, I don't have to parent the parents, and I just, like, wasn't doing as well with my work. It was really, really, really bad, and I just kept waiting for people to get better, and these people just, like, I don't know, it's a complicated situation. I'll put a trigger warning here. I'm gonna talk about alcoholism, but I would say that's, like, the biggest thing that really set me off. My mom has been an alcoholic my whole life, and I didn't know that because she had breast cancer when I was young, and she told me that she would act that way at night because of she said it was because of her breast cancer medication that prevented her from getting it. Which was, now that I've really, like, gone to therapy and things like that, I found out that was absolutely gaslighting and not true, and it was done so that I wouldn't say anything about the way she treated me, you know? Like, I would be such a bad daughter to tell her that she can't continue her actions, you know, because I would be such a bad daughter to make her feel guilty about the way that she's treating me, because she's only acting that way because of this medication that's preventing her from getting cancer. But actually she was drinking, and that wasn't true. And it's really, really, I didn't say, like, I would make a joke about it with my friends. Like, I would, like, be like, oh, my mom did the weirdest thing last night. She, like, threw nail polish in my toilet. But, like, it was scary. Like, it was really scary as a kid. And when I moved out really young, I remember just realizing I didn't have to live every night, like, with this crazy anxiety of what was going to happen next. And I don't know, I didn't even find out that she was drinking until I went to therapy when I was 19, and I was telling the therapist, you know, she's like, what was your, like, childhood like, blah, 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 and I was saying, you know, at night, my mom would always act this way, and it was really scary, and I don't know why, and, she was like, your mom's an alcoholic. I was like, no, like, what? I was offended. I'm like, no, it's because of her medication that prevents her breast cancer. How dare you say that? And I actually stopped going to that therapist. But then, like, I called my dad and I told him, I was like, this therapist said that, whatever. And then my dad travels all the time for work. Like, he's never, ever, 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 ever home except for this pandemic. He is very successful. His work is really cool. I do commend him for that. But anyways, my brother has always been home with and then I was out in LA for 5 years. My brother was always at home with my mom, and he was like, yeah, she's been drinking. Like, what? I always see her doing it. So, long story short, last year, I've lived in Florida now a year. Actually, like, February of last year, I moved from LA to Florida. This is a long story, but, you know, I was recovering, I had gained weight, I had a lot of acne from hormonal stuff, and it was really, 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 really difficult for me to deal with. And Frank and Eva moved away, like, Steph moved away, like, all my best friends moved away, and I still had friends, but they weren't, like, my closer friends, so I wouldn't really talk about what I was going through, if that makes sense. And I was very lonely, so I needed someone, and the thought was to go towards my parents. And, like, I guess when you've lived a lot, like, away from home for so long, you don't remember how bad things were. And I remember I gave my mom was helping me move out, and she was in LA for 5 days helping me, and I was like, I would never, when she'd visit me in LA, number one, I never asked her to visit me, which was something I never understood until now. Like, it was just a subconscious thing. And then two, I never wanted her, I would always tell her if she wanted to come, like, I'd tell her she has to get a hotel, and she couldn't stay in my apartment with me because she would drink at night. It was scary for me. And I was like, I'm gonna let you stay in my apartment, like, it's just 5 days, but can you promise me that, like, you're not going to drink while you're here? And she's like, yes, I promise, of course, yeah. Like, what? Why would you, like, she was offended that I even, alluded to the fact that she could be whatever. So, she comes out to LA, and spoiler alert, she does not make the 5 days without drinking. And, like, the day before I'm moving to Florida last year, I'm in my bathroom, like, locked my door, scared to be in my own apartment, and just, like, crying to my best friend, like, is moving the right decision? I don't know. And then when I moved to Florida the past year, I just kind of kept pushing her to get help, and she would just lie to my face about drinking, and it was, like, so much to go through. I mean, this is major trigger warning here for self-harm, suicidal thoughts, and alcoholism, but my mother has narcissistic traits, and I don't throw narcissist around, but it's been, like, literally diagnosed by every therapist I've gone to, and she puts her own needs over mine in every way possible. And with that being said, this is, like, a crazy example, but, I was telling her, 'cause she cares a lot about image, I was like, okay, I'm gonna, like, kind of have that route with it, Again, like, I've spent this last year being her therapist, basically parenting my parent. I was like, no one that really matters, like, no one that you actually want in your life will look down on you if you get help, is what I told her. Like, I was saying, if my friends came forward and they were like, you know what, I've actually been suffering from alcoholism for more than a decade, like, and I'm getting help today, I would be really proud of them. Like, the wrong people are going to look down at you. And she, again, major trigger warning for, like, suicidal thoughts and stuff like that, but, and alcoholism, she basically, when I told her to get help, she threatened suicide on me, and it was just something she did to, not that she's, not suffering in that way, but in that situation, I know her, like, fucking inside and out, and I know that she was only doing it because she would do anything so that I wouldn't have to tell her she would get help. And it had just been progressing the whole year, where I just kept trying to do everything. I mean, I even went and I was like, is it your relationship with dad? Like, and then I started, she talked to me for like 5 hours about how she whatever, she's not happy in her relationship, and I again became her therapist. And then she was drunk one night, and she's told my dad she's leaving him because of me, when all I did was sit there and listen to her. And I was like, don't kids, like, literally have to go to therapy for, like, fucking years to believe that divorce is not their fault? And you just, like, were willing to threaten that in 2 seconds. She, like, does not see me emotionally. She sees me as an object, like, in every single way. And I just, like, went home, and they never really done anything about my recovery, and I just wanted fucking parents, and I didn't find them. Like, it was worse for me than anything. And me challenging them and challenging, my mom's alcoholism, or like my dad just honestly being non-existent, just made me get hurt even more. And, I did not deserve to grow up that way. Like, I understand why I am, like, I feel like the biggest way, I remember my grandma's a shrink, and she, like, pointed out that I do this, but as a kid, like, when my mom started drinking, I'd always ask her all day, like, are you mad at me? Are you mad at me? And that's kind of, like, this mentality I've kept where I'm like, such a people pleaser, because I would be so scared of, she wouldn't say anything would offend her during the day, but at night, I'd be terrified. I wouldn't know what I would get from her. Like, she was scary and terrifying. And it got to a point where right before I moved, it was just 3 months honestly, of me just, like, literally sitting in my room all day with my lock, with Fender, not leaving my room, and, like, being fucking terrified to leave my room, and then, like, leaving my room for the first time to eat at, like, 12 or 1 a.m., and then, like, still getting, the night I really decided to move, it was, I think, a Thursday night, and that Friday, I put in my request to get this place, and then on Monday, I moved in. Like, it was that fucking fast. I'd been in my room working all day, and just, like, sitting alone in my room, and I, like, finally went out to eat for the first time, and, like, I, like, was so shaky during that time, and she, I literally just went to go eat, which, again, also, another thing, like, just to keep in mind, too, I mean, I'm in a really good place, but, like, my thought is that, like, if my daughter, I don't know, like, had an eating disorder, and she didn't eat all day, like, I would again, I'm not a person to her, I'm an object. I have so many examples of that, and I have an example. It's, like, it's really fucking sad, honestly. I don't think I could ever have a relationship with my mom again, but I really just, she's, like, ruined my life in a lot of ways, and I've had to work so fucking hard to pick up the pieces, and I'm just, like, she has done nothing to hold herself accountable, and I just, like, the more I wait and stay around her, and it's kind of, like, because she is, trigger warning, abuse, like, she is my abuser. Like, when I'm around her, literally when she walks in the same room as me, I get this, like, panicky, walking on eggshells feeling, and I've never gotten that with anyone else, and it's, I don't know, I just, like, she would rather, like, go to her grave believing she did nothing wrong than, like, actually be a parent for her kids, and it's really sorry, I'm, like, venting. Anyways, I hadn't left my room all day, and I went to go eat, and she just is drunk out of her mind, screaming at me, because, like, I have to go get my physical license, and another thing is she's very controlling over me, and she, like, controls things, and it's weird, because from an outside perspective, I think some people see that, and they think that it's her being a good parent, but it's literally her doing that. Number one, because it looks good to other people, and two, because she can use it against me. Absolutely, 100%, because the second she doesn't get what she wants, like, she'll degrade me. Like, she talks about how annoying I am and how she wants me gone, And then, like, the second I actually wanted to move, she told me I'd come running back to her because I can't do anything on my own, which is literally not true. It's a horrible way to treat a child. Anyways, if anyone has a narcissistic mother, they're like, oh, fuck yeah, I know what that's like. They're very, very controlling and manipulative, and they view people and their kids as extensions of themselves. And that's why, for example, when I was very, very, very ill from my eating disorder, like, she did nothing. Absolutely nothing. When I recovered, she did nothing. I went to the therapist, and I got diagnosed, and I did everything by myself. And then she didn't even say anything until I gained weight. And then, like, she would complain to my friends without me knowing that I was binge eating and that she was worried I was gaining too much weight. But she never cared when I was sick. And she cared more about me taking my Accutane pills than when I was sick. And in fact, she complimented me all the time. And I don't know, I just felt like I was a doll. Like, why was she... The way that she acted when I forgot to take my Accutane pill, it was like she genuinely thought I was less of a person when I had acne, and it was so... And then, you know, when I finally told her, like, I want you to help me cope with my weight gain, her response to that was literally to convince me to get plastic surgery, and I've never felt so unloved. And then, like, a part of my brain literally thought, like, believed that I needed to do that to be beautiful. And it's so... I had to, like, let go of this, you know, I need to please my parents because their values are completely different from mine. And I quite honestly don't agree with them on 95% of things. And long story short, I hadn't left my room all day before I moved, and she's drunk and screaming at me, and I'm crying, and I'm like, I just want to eat, please leave me alone, and she won't leave me alone, and I'm scared out of my mind, and I know I can't do this anymore, and I move. And she knows that I'm moving because I'm scared of her, and she hates... God, it was so fucking messy. Long story short, like, I'm with the movers all day, and it's always known that I'm gonna come back home to get the rest of my stuff, and because I had to get Fender, and I'm at the new place, like, telling them which floor to put everything on, and then I come back to my room, and she's ripped everything off my walls, and I didn't even know what I did. I don't know what I did wrong. Like, I literally just left because I was done with being treated like that. I was done with having anxiety every night. And it's like, you know, why did you stay in that situation so long? Like, I thought I was fixing it. I thought I could fix it. Because, I mean, what I wanted more than anything, no matter how fucking hard it was, like, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna keep trying. Because I hope that, you know, there's parents underneath there that I just never found. And they just haven't been there for me. But I can find them now. And I just never did. And even being in close contact with them, I don't know. But it's like, it's weird. I definitely am experiencing, like, I feel better moving out. Like, I want to make that very clear. I feel really good. Like, I have this thing now called hypervigilance, which I've learned about through therapy, where basically my brain is still on this, like, alert mode where I think that I'm going to get hurt. And I start, like, getting... I haven't really suffered from, like, anxiety about my friends not being there for me, but suddenly when I moved out, I was, like, looking for all these dangers. And even... This is gonna sound crazy unless you've been through something like this, but every time that, like... I remember the second day I moved, like, the AT&T guy came and was just knocking at the door just to set up my Wi-Fi. And I literally had, like, a full, like, a mini, like a little bit of, like, I had a rush of anxiety because I thought it was going to be my mom and I was scared. And that's kind of the truth. And I think I didn't upload for a year because it was such a fucking big part of my life. And it was so weird to not to like be like, hi guys, what's up? So let's do 10 skincare. Like, I mean, like it was so difficult for me, and it's been like really hard for me too, because I like turn things late. Like I would turn things in late all the time, and I don't know, with like people I work with and stuff, I like get so scared to talk about this situation because I'm so scared it makes me look mentally unstable. I don't know if that makes any sense. Like there's just so much stigma behind not having contact with your parents. I don't know. My dad definitely like is non-existent, but like my fucking brain is like, well, at least he didn't, trigger warning, abuse me, but like he still just like was non-existent, absolutely, and he just kind of chose his career. But I think ultimately, like, I think even if I don't think he'll ever be a good parent, like, and we do have a lot of differences, like I could see myself maybe having a relationship with him one day, but like my mother, like I don't know if I'm ever gonna get over this like fucking crazy fear of her. But honestly, the past year has been like the biggest year in regards of like maturity for me, and even honestly like the whole situation helped me with my recovery, because I've always been so self-destructive and mentally ill, honestly, and I never knew why. Like, and not that there always has to be a why, but for me there definitely was, because there was such a sudden switch, and I suffer from BPD, which is caused by trauma, and I was like, what is my trauma? Like, why am I so, explosive, and why do I hold everything in until I explode? And like, why do I have such issues with being direct? Why, again, am I so self-destructive? And like, I understood. I was like, oh my God, like I literally of course, like I had to deal with all that as a child, and then like had to move out as a minor, and like they still didn't care. And I understand now, and it almost it made me like more motivated to recover and to take care of myself and to become less self-destructive and to like give myself that love, because I realized like this whole time I feel like I've just been searching like a lot of the things I've done to myself, it's just been like indirectly, it's been multiple things, but like mostly, not saying how I feel, not feeling as if the way I feel is valid, and like a lack of love and empathy in my life, because they've never given me empathy for my situation. And instead I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give myself that. It's like, where they're fucking deficient and that was so unfair to me, you know what, I'm gonna make up for that, and like I want to give myself that love, and I don't want them to have any more power over me. So anyways, this is a long ass rant. Did anyone stay for the whole thing? Oh my God, wow. Thank you for telling me I'm valid. Sorry, I started with the chaotic energy and then I just ended up venting about this. Yeah, I'm okay though, like I'm good. I'm definitely just like healing from this situation and like finally putting terms on things, because I've been belittling everything my whole life, even though like I knew things were really wrong, because I liked to blame myself instead of thinking about the fact that, I don't know. Anyways. Someone called her a slut. Literally what? I'm in a fucking t-shirt talking about mental health. I did block all contact with my mom, and I talked to my brother. I talk to my dad sometimes, but again, my mother is fucking terrifying for me. Like, she literally, until she, like, I don't even, like, she's done nothing to prove that she's, like, literally up until fucking a week ago when I moved away, she was still lying to my face about drinking the night before, and I was like, it's just so weird to me how, like, people get canceled online and they get held more accountable, and then, like, I was holding her accountable, and she's my mother nonetheless. Like, that's the thing I had to keep reminding myself too, is like, it's not equal. Like, these are the people that are supposed to be my parents. They gave life to me, Like, I didn't ask to be born, so, like, I don't owe them, Like, I'm not born to fucking make babies, I'm not there to carry on your name. Like, I'm my own separate person, you know? Like, you're fucking, like, 3 times my age. So, that's kind of where I'm at. It's definitely weird not having parents, and, like, sometimes I want to go back to them, but they've done absolutely nothing to hold themselves accountable, and to this day, they still have not even done anything to show that they care, or that they realize how much they have hurt me. I mean, they still haven't. The bare fucking minimum would be like, you know, I'm sorry I body shamed you after you recovered. Like, that was so hard to go through. Like, I just couldn't believe it. I don't know. And it was so weird having, like, my dad just never said anything to me, but he just wouldn't filter certain things, and, like, it made it feel as if I was making up this illness that I had, I guess. Like, he would talk about his diets in front of me, and then I came to him and I was like, I don't like the way my mother talks about my body, and he was like, well, think about how annoying it is for me. Like, she comes to me every single night crying about how she's scared you're gonna gain too much weight. Which, again, just doesn't make any sense, because she literally, like, did not care when I was skinny. She thought I looked good. Like, she enabled that in every way possible. She literally asked me for tips. Like, it's really messed up. And I don't know. That's the bare minimum. Like, that is the bare fucking minimum. Like, I recovered on my own. All you had to do was fucking accept me. And, like, not body shame me. You could have said nothing and that would have been better. Like, I had to do all the hard work. You know? All you had to do was just be nice. Tell me I look good for once. Tell me you're proud of me. All you have to fucking do. And I had this, like, weird imposter syndrome, because everyone online was like, I'm so proud of you, and, you know, my friends are really supportive. And that's why, like, I don't know, I feel like I've, like, stayed humble to, like, a bad extent, where someone gives me a compliment and I don't believe it, because I just, like, never get that. I'm just so used to, like, feeling like I've disappointed someone, I guess. So I, like, sorry to get very, I don't know, but I definitely am out of that situation. There's fear of being, you know, I guess, I don't know if anyone else relates to this, but, like, I have this weird thing where, like, I'm so scared because I know I'm related to them, and, like, I like, do every fucking thing in my power to, like, not be, like, the complete opposite of them, which is good. And, like, I don't see myself as being similar to them at all. I feel like, if anything, I'm more of a product of that environment than them, but, like, I do get scared that I'm related to them. I don't know, especially my mother. So, there we go. Anyways. Hello. Alright, I'm gonna go. I hope you have a good day. What? You live... All the comments are delayed, so I'm like, wait, what? That you'll turn out like them, yes. Hello, hi Cecilia. Anyways, I don't know. I hope maybe someone related to this, knowing that they're not the only person that goes through this. And, like, I had to hear from someone else that, you know, you don't owe your blood anything. So, hopefully that'll give someone, you know, or if you're just, like, in a relationship, if it's a boyfriend or a girlfriend, like, sometimes you just need to be told, like, you don't need to be in that situation, you know? Anyways, I love you. Have a good day. And I shall... Oh my god, I hate some of the random Sims that are, like, so rude to me on here.